Hey everyone, it's Steven at AMR Studio, and today I'm going to be teching these drums that I just bought. I just bought a new Tama Imperial Star kit off of Facebook Marketplace, so it's not really new, it's a slightly used drum kit. And so today I'm going to go through and give you a few tips and tricks on how I tech my drums. I'm trying something new that I haven't done before to help prevent the drums from detuning too quickly or lugs falling out, because I've always had a problem when I was touring that on my snare especially, that some lugs would just fall out and I had to carry a bunch of spare tension rods to continue touring. So I always had those in my stick bag. So I got online and discovered that a good way to prevent that is to use some Loctite, medium strength. You don't want the heavy strength, because then you won't be able to get the tension rods loose. So medium strength allows you, with a simple drum key, to break it loose. There's a couple tricks that I like to do when I'm teching my drums. The first thing that I like to do is I like to use cotton balls in my toms. It acts like a natural gate. When you hit the tom, the cotton balls float up and then they fall back down, and they kind of help with muting that extra sustain that kind of happens when you hit other drums in the kick, especially if you have tom mounted brackets on the kick drum. The other thing that is in my tool bag is I use a Toon Bot tuner for my drums. It actually uses frequencies to tune your drums, so it's a more consistent method of tuning your drums. What's really cool about the Toon Bot is if you look through the manual, they give you suggestions, and so based on your toms, you can decide if you want high resonance in your toms, medium resonance, and low resonance. I like to use either medium or low resonance, because when tracking drums, the shorter the sustain on the toms, the better the recording's gonna come out to be. And so all the stuff that I'm doing, I learned from touring drummers and session musicians, whether it was while I was working at House of Blues talking to drummers or their techs, or interviews from session musicians that gig regularly in studios, and they had to figure out tips and tricks to help make engineers' jobs easier. And so that's where I've learned some of these things. But anyway, with the Toon Bot, they give you suggestions on tuning your drums and which frequencies to use. You just got to read the manual. It's really cool. But I just use the suggestions, and either I decide to use medium resonance or low resonance, depending. And what that ends up being is you tune the top head lower than the bottom head. So you actually torque up the bottom head, the resonant head, and that creates a shorter sustain. Coupled with the cotton balls, it should reduce a lot of the resonance. So when you go to tune your drums, you don't want to tune them while they're set up. You either want to use your drum throne or the floor, any way that you can mute the head that you're not tuning at the time. That way the Toon Bot is only picking up the head that you're tuning. Another thing you want to do is, before you put on drum head, you always want to wipe down your bearing edge to get any dirt or dust off. It helps the drum head sit. It helps the drum head sit nicely and level with the bearing edge. So you want to always clean your bearing edge, wipe it off before you put new drum heads on. So the Toon Bot manual gives you a diagram in which star pattern gives you equal tension depending on how many tension rods you have. So they give you a diagram for 6, 8 lug, and 10 lug. So I like to write those numbers for that star pattern on each drum. So I always start and follow the pattern correctly. Now that we have the first rack tom tuned, I'm gonna tune up the rest of the kit, and then hopefully it'll sound really cool. I liked the drums the way they sounded without all these drum teching tricks, and so I'm really excited to hear how clean the drums are gonna sound together. Will the resonances be gone? Will they ring more harmoniously together? Will the toms have short bursts and less decay, so they sound better in recordings? It's gonna be fun to see, but these are cool drum teching tricks that you can use for your drum set as well. hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.